Good day, Hyperspinners. Austin here, and today we are setting up Dreamcast. Oh, to be honest, it's probably one of my favourite systems. I had this back in the day. It was it was my creme de la creme. It took me fucking ages to get my hands on one. Well, in fact, it was only a couple of weeks, but I wanted one at launch, so a couple of weeks for me at that time was a long time. It was the first breakthrough in the next gen of the systems, and to be honest, at the time the graphics and such were jaw-dropping, and I managed to play a few demos in the shops and things, and I was blown away by it basically. And to be honest, it holds one of the best games that I've ever played, and I wish that they would pick up and complete the series on it. Now, my favourite game probably of all time is Shenmue, or Shenmue, which back in the day was so groundbreaking. Just the graphics and the storyline and the gameplay. It's hard to explain because now a lot of the things have been stolen from that and come almost as standard on quite a few of the newer games. But back then, it was groundbreaking. It really was. I can't emphasize that enough. Anyway, this isn't a tutorial on Shenmue. This is a tutorial on how to set up Dreamcast. So, as per normal, I'm talking absolute fucking bollocks. So let's actually get stuck in and set this puppy up, I suppose. Right, as always, down the bottom, I've given you a couple of links this time, treating you today. The first link, well, probably the first link will be a mega download, and will include all the media that you will need for setting the system up, so it all looks good. The second one that you will have is the actual emulator to actually run Dreamcast. Now, I'm going to use NullDC, and it's actually my version of NullDC. The problem is that NullDC makes some kind of alterations in configs and setups and things like that in various parts of your system that I can't just copy over to your system. So in this one, we're going to actually have to go into the actual emulator and make a few tweaks and changes just to make sure it's fully compatible with your system, like when you copy it over. So, it saves a bit of heartache, and it's an extra 5 minutes on the tutorial, and at the end of the day we're all learning, aren't we? Okay then, anyway, waffling on again. That's what's going to happen. Let's do it. Right, first off then, take yourself to your Hyperspin setup. Oh, by the way, yeah, download the fucking links and get them to your desktop. I don't need to take you through that. I've done it about 1,000 times. But I will extract this. So in my case, we're going to extract here. Should now extract it on the desktop. Can minimize this while it's going on. Okay, let's go to our Hyperspin setup then. So it's in my D drive, Hyperspin, wherever you have it installed, get yourself there. And there you go, there's the Hyperspin setup. Now in there, as always, is all the files and folders that you will need to run Hyperspin. Okay, that's finished now, I think. So let's have a look at what we've got in the download for the media. First off, you've got your README. It's imperative, it's paramount, it's so important that people all around the world could be dying unless you read that README. Some vital, very important information inside of it. Make sure it's read and acknowledged and absorbed, most of all. Okay, secondly, you've got the made by me, because that's what I like to do. And more importantly, you've got the two folders with all the vital information and files within. Right, so as you will see, you've got media and databases. Take note on the actual Hyperspin setup that you've got, or should have. If you haven't, I suggest you go to the tutorial that I've given on that as well to get you the most up-to-date version of Hyperspin, so it's, well, compatible with what I'm going to do with you now. Okay, so in there you should have a folder called databases and a folder called media. What you want to do is, on the download, highlight the two folders, drag them over, and copy them into your Hyperspin setup. So now the two folders should be merging, and at some point it will ask me, do you want to overwrite all the shit that's in here? And I'm going to tick yes. Replace the files in the destination. And there we go. Now that's me transferred all the art and all the stuff that you need in order to run the system. So right, we can close this now, but remember, read the README. Closed. Okay, that's everything in there. in the pack I've given you the themes, the boxes in 3D, the wheels, the discs, the fade, the bezel. What else have I given you? Obviously the wheels, the fucking pointer, and the databases, and loads of other shit in there anyway. Basically, once it's all over there, it's done. It just needs configuring or setting up. So let's do that now then. First things first, what do we need to do? Right, we've got the media in there. Let's sort the emulator out. So if you've been following my tutorials, then we should be up to this stage by now, where you've got main, mess, and RetroArch. If you haven't done that, make sure you do it after this, or stop this video, pause it, and start kicking off with them. There's loads of systems that we're adding, and these three will play almost everything running anyway. So yeah, do that. Okay, the actual emulator download that you did, all we need to do is copy that over into your emulators folder. So inside the emulators, there you go. And now we've got the NullDC basically in the computer. Now normally we wouldn't have to do anything apart from set it up in Hyperlaunch, but like I said, NullDC likes to embed itself in your system, put in config files and things in various places for it to run smoother and better. The problem is that when I come to copy my version onto your system, then those hidden files don't get copied over. Don't get me wrong, they're not malicious or anything like that. It just runs smoother when it does that. So what I need to do is make sure that you're running in a basic way that is good for me to teach you. Okay then, so open up your NullDC folder, take yourself to the NullDC Win32 release no trace. I've got no idea what fucking no trace is. Obviously I know that it's a 32-bit emulator, but no trace, I got no idea. If someone could actually knowledge me on this one, please put it in the comments. I'm no pro at this, I just get things working. I would like to know what no trace means. But anyway, let's crack on. What we need to do is double click on this now. Now, NullDC likes to kick off at you, and the first time it's run, it needs to embed itself in your system, like I said. So it will probably start coming up things like that, all kinds of kicking off shit. So click OK, ignore all the messages that it gives you, get yourself to this screen here. Right, there's a few tweaks that we need to do to make sure it runs correctly. First off, we need to select our plugins. Hopefully it should have done it automatically with the copying it over into your system, but I can't guarantee that. So let's do it manually now, just in case. I'll try to keep this as brief as possible. Take yourself to the Options tab into Select Plugins. Okay, in the Select Plugins, you should have selected the Direct 3D HAL March 2013. It may have the one that says Direct 3D 11 2010. Don't use that one, use this one. Apparently the other one isn't finished, and plus it's obsolete anyway, so use this one. Image reader, there's only one option anyway, same with most of these. Oh no, but the other one means no sound, so we do want sound obviously, and one option for this one. Now this is the bit that's a bit confusing now. Maple input save and plugins. Okay, the Dreamcast as standard came with 4 ports, so theoretically you could have up to 4 players for your games. Obviously also you could go online with the Dreamcast, which was a ground-breaking thing at the time. Although I only had dial-up and the internet was only just breaking through properly at that point. But yeah, enough. So you could have 4 players. Now each one of these ports is basically a player, so you've got port A, B, C, D. Now I've set up the first one. I haven't set up the others, but you can do this at your own free will. However, if you was to look, or if you remember, at the old Dreamcast controllers, it basically came with a bog standard controller, a hell of a lot similar to a 360 controller, except it had 2 slots in it, one for either, 2 slots, and it had a stick missing if you compare it to. The slots were so you could put devices in. Now the Dreamcast had inbuilt memory, however it had like fucking 1 slot which you couldn't save anything with, so you had to get these VMUs. The VMUs weren't perfect themselves, they had very low slot capacity, and each game taken up a certain amount of slots, so you had to have a few to get your collection saved basically, and sometimes you had to make sacrifices. Anyway, enough fucking hell, I waffle shit all day. yeah, so what this is saying is, for example, port A. I want to use this as a controller device. Now, there's different ones that you can choose from, but I'm going to choose this one because it's the one I'm most experienced with, and I've never had any problems with. So, you know, follow this one. It's the Piru Dreamcast controller, not .1 Falcon 4 ever, whatever it is, 2013. I use that one. Feel free to use any others that you may wish, but I'm going to show you how to configure this one. Okay, and in the top one, I've got NullDC VMU, blah blah blah. Basically, what that's saying is, in the top slot, theoretically, I want to use the VMU, or the hypothetical VMU, for that controller. And also below, I've got a Piru pack X input. Yeah, basically, you've got that in the second slot. Now, do that the same for all the ones that you want. However, I think you may have to have a controller plugged in to actually get them working properly. So once you've done all that, click OK. Take yourself back to the options tab again, and in there you will have an option called Maple. Scroll across, and in port A you will see it's got subdevice 1, which will be slot 1, and it will show the VMU, and in sub 2 you've got something else plugged in the bottom. Now, what we want to concentrate on is configure keys for player 1. I've done this for you, but it may not have stuck when you copied over the emulator. So it's the same as every fucking way of setting up keys. Basically, you click on it and you click whatever button or direction it is it's asking you. As you can see, there is an actual picture of a Dreamcast controller. There's a VMU, which used to be able to slot in and out from above here, and just behind that was slot 2, where usually had like a rumble pack or something along them lines behind it. Yeah, I'm not going to go into too much detail here. However, you will have to have the controller plugged in, otherwise it turns red. Like, for example, if I go on controller 2, see, it turns red, so I can't set anything up. But common sense dictates that you can't set it up unless it's plugged in anyway, because you won't be able to press the key. So yeah, there you go. Alright, so I've shown you how to do that. And obviously, if you're using this on an arcade, it's good because you can actually put it in the keyboard input down here, so you can set up your arcade settings for your buttons, because you haven't obviously got a controller, or you may not wish to use that. So yeah, okay. Press OK there, and hopefully that should all now stick. I don't think there's anything else we need to go into here, because a lot of these can actually be sorted out from within the module, or within Hyperlaunch. So no need to fuck around here. File, and so what we'll do is we'll go File and Exit, and that'll get rid of it. Now, point to note, NullDC is not an all singing all dancing emulator. It will run the majority, and if not all, the best Dreamcast games, but some of them will have issues. One of them being the fact that it's not very good with a certain type of game, as in the Windows Media or the Microsoft CE games. Luckily there's not that many of those, and there's not that many very good ones, or the ones that I like anyway. So, you know, we'll cover them in later episodes of my videos, but for now I'm going to give you this because this will get 90% of your games working on Dreamcast. Also, some of them do require a cable setting from within the module. Again, we'll cover that in a second just in case. Okay, right, let's do this. Right, so we've got our emulator set up. It should be working tickety-boo, no problem now. Now what we need to do is take ourselves to our Hyperlaunch, or RocketLauncher, whatever you fucking call it nowadays. Load it up. Now, this should already be set up as standard. Well, not so much set up, but it should be enabled. The system should already be there. So in our left-hand pane, as you can see, we actually have Dreamcast there, which is nice, because then we don't need to go through the procedures of setting it up. However, the emulator is not there, so we do need to go through the procedures of actually setting up the emulator. So go into Global, scroll down. This might actually already be on mine, but on yours it probably won't, so unless you've been messing around. So we need to find NullDC. Yeah, it's already set up, but I'll take you through it anyway. So Global, Emulators, scroll down to find NullDC, double click, and then it will open up. Now yours will probably be red here with a little X at the side. What we need to do is magnifying glass, take it to wherever your emulator is, i.e. inside your emulators within Hyperspin, and what you need to do is double click on the NullDC 32 no trace version of this emulator. And there you go, it inputs it in, should get rid of any red boxes that you've got. There's the different file types that you can use, and there's the modules. Don't mess with any of them at this point because you should be working as standard. Okay, press X and that should automatically save all the settings that you've just put in, and if you did have a red mark, it should now be gone. At this stage you should have no red exclamation mark here. Okay, right, so that's that done. Now we've got the emulator working. Now what we need to do is concentrate on the system. So take yourself to the SEGA DREAMCAST, go to ROM paths. What we need to do is tell it where the games are, as always. So first off, where are my games? I think mine are in the Hyperspin folder, or in the ROM drive. No, Hyperspin, ROMs. Look for Sega DREAMCAST. Boom, there you go. Okay. Now it knows where all my games are. Now I need to tell it what emulator it's loading. Now yours is probably blank, but for some reason mine's saying Demule. That's a different emulator that can run these. Again, we will set these up later on, but for now, NullDC will cover 90% of all the games that you will want to play. So we'll set it up NullDC for now. So double click on that one. Boom. I believe depending on when you downloaded and updated your Hyperlaunch, some of you may have a few issues when you go to run this. The way to get around those, and we'll head it off in the past before it even happens anyway, is to enable bezels. There was a problem with one of the modules where unless you had bezels enabled, it threw up a error. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually do that anyway. So click on, make sure you're still on the Dreamcast tab, go over to settings, and in there you'll be able to find bezels at the top here, and we're going to set that to true. I like the bezels anyway, and I've also included one for you which looks really nice, but feel free to change if it either doesn't fit or it doesn't go with your style. Yeah. Right, another thing that we may need to do is go into main settings and see if your CDs or your disk images, if they are compressed or not. In other words, 7-zipped or RAR or zipped. If they are, you need to enable it. So basically the CD will decompress and then load, and if it's not, then just leave it as it is and it should automatically just load straight away. So 7-zip, true. Yep, because mine are compressed. Fucking hell, got mine blank still from drinking on the weekend. And it's Friday as well, so I'm going to start drinking again tonight most probably. Never stops, is it? It's full circle, isn't it? Full fucking circle. Anyway, we digress. Right, so we've got that set up, we've done the bezels, we've told it that it's compressed or not compressed, depending on what kind of thing you've got. The only other thing is, from my memory, is that the fade for this system can be a bit funny, as in it looks silly. The emulator loads up, but it has a big massive logo that I don't want to show. I just want it to boot straight into either the game or the boot screen. I don't want to see ugly logos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend the fade a little tiny bit on this one. I can't remember what settings I use, but I'll take a chance on duration, delay, exit delay, I think that's the one. If you click on the little blue things at the side, it tells you what it's all about. So in milliseconds, the amount of time delay the fade in screen from closing while the emulator loads in the background. This is helpful when you want a certain amount of time after the emulator has loaded before fading out. Yeah, this is basically what I want to be looking for, I think. Now it's in milliseconds, so theoretically, oh fucking, I ain't Carol Vorderman here, but I'm gonna put 5,000 should be about 5 seconds. I think. Let's see anyway. We'll see if it's too long or too short, or even if it works in the first place. Yeah, so we've done that. Modules. Let's see if we need to set anything up in the modules. So modules at the top. Click on your NullDC. No, don't double click it. Now, as always, read the module notes. This will tell you all kinds of stuff that's going on and will help you with any problems that you may have. And also what we're going to be doing is edit global module settings. So click on this, and as you can see, the first one is the overall settings. I don't think NullDC runs anything else except maybe the VMU emulator, but fucking games are that terrible. Trust me, it's not worth setting up. So all the settings that you do on this will be current, I suppose. I'm going to keep everything as default, I think. Yeah, I'm going to keep everything as default and just see if it actually loads. I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to take a punt on this one. So you've already got your databases to give you that one. You've already got your artwork. Everything should be running. You got your 7-zip enabled. So let's take a chance. I'm going to audit all the games. What can we play? We're going to play Capcom versus SNK. Oh, will it work? Ooh.
Loading game.
It's got a nice fade screen, which matches the game. Oh, there we go. It's decompressing now the game. My apologies if it kicks off really loud. I also haven't got my controller plugged in. But as long as it loads, that means that it's working, which I'm happy with at the end of the day. Proves the point. So yeah, this is what it's like if you've got the compression filled in. It obviously takes a while for it to decompress. However, I mean, I've got all the games for the Dreamcast and basically probably all the other systems. So when your disk systems start to fill up a little bit, so do your hard drives quite considerably. So I like to compress them all so I can get shitloads of games all running. I'm willing to make the hit for waiting a minute or two to load a game rather than spending hundreds of pounds buying all the hard drives. It's your choice at the end of the day. If you only got a few games, then it's not probably worth compressing. Tailor-make these systems to your own. I'm just showing you how to get them running.
Loading complete.
Okay, well, it looks like the fade thing didn't work, so we'll have to get rid of that. But there you go, it works anyway. All I need to do now is probably get rid of the fade setting there, But other than that, it is tickety-boo. Obviously, I haven't got my controller plugged in, so I can't actually go into the game. But trust me, these are all fucking good games. Especially the fighting games and the arcadey-style ones. That's where Dreamcast excelled. And of course, one download that you've got to do... Oh, sorry, I'm pressing buttons here. One download that you've got to do is Shenmue. Fucking love that game. And also the Shenmue 2. I just wish there was the next 4 sequels, because I believe there was supposed to be 6 done, but they only ever made 2, which left me at a cliffhanger. Oh, the controversy. Anyway, so yeah, that's the game up and running. Now quickly I'm going to show you how to set it up in Hyperspin. So we know that's going. Obviously, to get rid of that ugly start that I did, I'm pissed about with the fade, didn't I? So fade Dreamcast, fade progress, fade general. I'm probably going to put that to use global, because that setting just made it look even more ugly than what it was. Have a play with these settings. I know one of them does it so you can basically keep the fade screen open a few seconds longer so you don't see the ugly NullDC logo. But yeah, have a play anyway. Now all these settings should be saved, so when I get rid of this, it should be gone and saved everything that I've already done. Now what I need to do is set the system up in HyperHQ. So obviously I don't need to do this probably, because I've probably got every game that I can think of for the Dreamcast. Maybe, in fact no, there's a couple that are named incorrectly, which I probably will go in and change. Okay, but me digressing again. Right, so first thing to do, load up your HyperHQ, go into wheel settings, then choose a wheel and find your Sega Dreamcast here. Now what we need to do, we need to tell HyperHQ also where your games are. So we're going to go to, in my case, P, ROMs, where's it gone, Sega Dreamcast, boom, there we go. Press OK, so now it knows where the games are. Now we need to tell it what extensions they are. Again, Mine are all compressed, so I know that mine can only be 7-zip, RAR, or zip, and that'll be one of those. However, you go to your ROMs folder, check out what file extensions they are, and make sure you separate them by a comma with no spaces. Also, capitalization, spelling and punctuation identically to whatever file extensions they are. In other words, file types. Okay, if you're unsure, right click, go in properties and it'll show you there. Okay. Next stage, we're told it where the games are, we're told it what type they are, so now we'll be able to find them and load them up. Now we need to sort out the wheel. I've got box art and cart art, wheel art, disc art, fucking hell. So I want to make it so the wheel disappears when I stop. I also don't like the rounded one, I like it to be vertical. I like to keep it at 400 and between 230 and 240 there, so that's all good. Animated, leave all the other shit. Navigation and themes, yep, I want to do it so it's ROMs only, so it only shows the ROMs or the games that I've got. I also want to do it so it's wheels only, so it only shows the games that's got wheels. Otherwise it looks ugly, and plus you should have all of them there anyway. And also return to last game, so it doesn't start from scratch every time I load up the system. Also, I like to remove text field info because I don't like, well, I'm not asked about what country it comes from. I just want to play the fucking game at the end of the day. And then take yourself over to the video tab. As standard, these should be loaded up unless you fucked around with this folder. If you have fucked around with it, show it where the videos are. You will need to, I've supplied everything for you, but as per normal, you will either need to hypersync all the videos down, or you will need to go to Emu Movies and download the videos for whatever games you've got and place them into your videos folder within your media folder within the Dreamcast folder. It's all fucking standard as per normal with every other system. The only other thing that you may need to do to get the complete setup to this, to make it look like mine, is go into the tips and tricks thing, as we talked about. In the bottom left hand corner there is the game title and text. You want to change where that is and what it looks like and the colour so it suits the rest of the theme. When we show the demo, I'll show you that in a second. Sounds, I fucking hate the first one, so I'm going to untick that and I just want to leave it so it clicks. Special art, if you've got a 360 pad, do what I'm doing. If not, don't. Basically untick all these, put that as 500. This one over here should be 384. This one should be 1. That one should be 1. And I want to do the delay for 3 seconds and I want to keep it on for 3 seconds. Leave that as fade, leave that as none. Again, all these unticked apart from special artwork B ticked. Okay, and then that is that. How exciting is that? Now I can click out of here. Now hypothetically I should be able to load this system up. It should have all the art and everything done. However, some of the videos will be missing and the text in the bottom left hand corner around here will be looking ugly until you follow the tips and tricks video, which will show you how to, well, make that look however you want it, to be honest. So let's make sure it all works. How exciting. So excited right now. Right, so where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Dreamcast. Oh, hello. Hello, Dreamcast. You're looking nice. Click into it. And there you go. All the discs, all the boxes, all the stuff, and the little pop-ups at the bottom to say what thing you're on. As I said, the bottom left-hand corner where it says Worms Will Party, you need to follow the tips and tricks thing to make that look good and place it where it's supposed to be. I'm not going to go into that one because it's just wasting time in this video. But yeah. Oh, Virtual Tennis. Excellent game. Especially if you've got some mates around. You can have up to 4 players in that one. Brilliant game. Ultimate Fighting Championship, I actually like that. House of the Dead, you can get some light gun action on that one also. That was good. I had fucking some amazing games on this, to be honest. I love this. But anyway, yeah, that's enough for me. I've got it all set up for you. How exciting is that? I mean, I only fucking give you mess yesterday, and now I've just thrown in Dreamcast. I'm spoiling you. I'm literally spoiling you. So, in return for me spoiling you, please, guys, please, like the videos, share the videos, comment on them, say if you like anything, if you want anything, if something's shit, something's not working, tell me and I'll sort it out the best I can. And you know, most of all, tell people not to fucking buy drives, because they're all getting ripped off by cunts who rip people off basically with shit systems. Don't fucking buy these systems, they are absolute fucking dog toffee. I'm not going to go into it again, you all know my views on that kind of stuff. Yeah, just don't do it. But like I said, like, subscribe, share, everything that's good than what YouTube people normally say, do that. I've got Twitter up the top on my channel, and I've got Facebook, so you can message me if you've got any problems or anything like that. Also get me at the Hyperspin forums, you know, post something on there or send me a PM on there also. I'm reachable in various places throughout the world. Anyway guys, I waffled on. This has probably been a fucking massive tutorial for such a simple system, but you guys have fun. Laters.